Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Leanne and today we're going to go through a nice balancing sequence to get your blood flowing. Hopefully you're a little bit warm already and we're going to start at the top of our mats. So grab your mat, roll it out and we'll get started. We wanna be a little stronger. So just from the start of the mat, we're going to take our Tadasana. Just to begin, hands alongside the body, the palms to face forward, grounding down through the feet. Shoulders toward the hips and pressing through the soles of the feet as the crown of head lifts up. From there, just breathing into the belly, finding your pace, allowing the breath to lengthen. Remember, the practice of yoga is a union of body and mind, body and breath. From here, take the hands to the hips, and then we're going to step the left foot back into a lunge, making sure that both toes are facing forward and the hips are squared to the front of your mat. Start to bend through the front knee, sitting down through the hips. I'm going to sweep the fingers forward and up, palms facing in, the hand shoulder width apart, sitting down through the hips. Try not to lean forward with the torso and keep pressing through the back heel. Let's find a little bit of balance here as we take our right arm back, left arm forward, twisting the torso over toward the right. Inhale, cartwheel the right arm and left back to center. And then take the left arm back, right arm forward. Come back to center. So we're going to take this about 3 times on each side. Taking the right arm back, left arm forward, come back to center. Left arm back, right arm forward, come back to center. Last time on this side, right arm back, left arm forward, come back to center. Left arm back, right arm forward, come back to center. Finding your lunge here, keep sitting down through the hips, opening through the heart. And then from here, we're going to transition nice and slowly into Virabhadrasana 3. So from here, you're going to shift the weight into the front foot, slide the left toes in, and then from here, sweep the fingers back and behind you, open through the heart. Grounding down through the right foot, start to squeeze the bottom on, and start to lift the left leg up as you extend the crown of head forward. Keep the hips facing down toward the mat, just squeeze that left leg in, opening through the heart, crown of head reaching forward. Full breath in, long exhale out. Now from here, take your left hand to your left hip. If you've got a block, popping it in underneath your shoulder. Otherwise, taking the fingertips to the floor. Make sure the hand is a little further forward and out toward the right slightly. From here, start to stack the hips. Finding your balance, flexing the left toes in towards the shin. Start to open the hips toward the left. If you want to, taking the option here. Reaching that top hand toward the sky. Keep flexing through the left toes. Lift the leg a little higher. Full breath in, long exhale out. Nice. From here, just slowly releasing. Take the fingers out in front, pop your block off to the side, standing split, lifting the heart, lifting the back leg, and then exhale, releasing the left leg down. Big toes touch, fold over the legs. Slide your fingers back in line with the heels, and lift the hips up high as you let the crown of head soften down. Take a full breath in, long exhale out. Nice. Inhale, come into your Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And then we're going to step the right foot back into your lunge. So you'll see this from a different angle. So sitting the hips down low, you're going to sweep the fingers forward and up, rise on up, Anjalyasana. This time bending through the front knee on the left side. Full breath in, keep pressing out through the right heel. Draw the belly in, shoulders, pressing down toward the hips. Let's take our twist from here. So we're going to take our right arm back, left arm forward. Cartwheel it back to center. Left arm back, right arm forward. Cartwheel it back to center. Good mobility through the shoulders here. Right arm back. Coming back to center. Left arm back. Coming back to center. One more time each side. Stay with your balance, with your breath. Left arm back, right arm forward. Come back to center. Reach it up. And then from here, we're going to come into our Warrior 3. So you're going to shift the weight into the front foot. It's going to hop mine back a little, but you're going to slide your back foot in, bending through the front knee. Reaching the fingers back and behind. The back toes just gently, lightly, just resting on the floor or the mat. Start to squeeze the bottom and start to lift the back leg. So it's almost like you're doing a capital T shape with the body. Drop the hips in, inner thighs in towards each other. Crown of head reaching forward. Breathing there, squeezing the bottom, pressing through the left foot. One more breath there. So then from here, grabbing that block and popping it over to the left side now, underneath the left hand. Take the right hand to the hip. So you're going to see Ardha Chandrasana from the other side. So I start to peel my hips open toward the right and start to turn my torso. Keep flexing the right toes, finding your balance, and maybe extending the right hand toward the sky. Keep gazing down to the floor, or maybe you start to work on looking up toward the top hand. Breathing there, squeeze the leg. One more breath. Exhale, slowly release. Head comes down to look first. Pop your block off to the side. And then keep lifting through the back leg as you keep the spine nice and long. Exhale, fold over. Releasing that right foot slowly. Taking the big toes to touch. Fold over the legs, fingers in line with the heels, round the spine, let go. Bend through the knees, pressing out through the feet. Rise on up all the way to standing. Relax your shoulders alongside. Hands alongside the body, palms facing forward. From here, just take your hands to your hips. Take your feet a little wider. I'm actually going to come and face towards you guys a little on an angle so you can see this from a different shape. From where you are, just taking your feet hip width apart, and then from here you can shift the weight into the left foot. So either, this is quite advanced for some people if their balance is a little off. So you can take an option of Vrksasana here if you want, just taking the balancing pose of opening the right knee out toward the right, resting the toes down or just hovering, or just taking the calf, the foot to the inside of the calf. And then from there, either staying there, or if you want to take a bit more of a challenging hip opener balance, then we're going to take the right knee in towards the chest, using the core muscles to draw it in, and then flex the foot and take the foot to the top of the left thigh. Let the knee fall out toward the right. So you can see that I've got my tailbone kind of tucked under to get that movement. Then I want to lengthen the tailbone down, lift the torso up, and keep pressing the knee away. Either staying here in the standing pose or take the hands to your heart center, thumbs point back toward the heart. And then from here, either staying here, start to bend through that standing leg and coming into a bit of a squat. Coming into your squat, maybe resting the elbows on the inside of ankle and knee. Keep sitting the bottom down. Ooh, finding your balance. Focusing on a drishti, either staying there or maybe even want to take the hands to the floor, lift the hips high and just fold over that leg. Option to stay here, or maybe you want to take a little balance here. So those that are yogis that practice with me quite regularly, this is grounding down through the hands, bending through the elbows, squeeze your elbows in towards each other as you stack your right shin bone atop of the legs, or top of the triceps. Nice, breathing there. And then we start to shift the weight forward and either staying there or lifting the left foot up. Breathing there. And slowly releasing, always coming out the same way that we went in. So slowly taking hands back to heart center, rising on up, hugging the knee in, and then exhale, release. So just going to do a little cat stretch here. So take your elbows wide, fingers point in towards each other, lift and open through the heart, lengthen the tailbone under, tuck the chin towards the mid-throat. Exhale, sitting down and rising up back to center. So we're going to take that to the other side. So if you did the option of tree, releasing and coming over to the other side, hands to the hips. So this time you're going to be taking the left heel to the inside of ankle bone and externally rotating the knee out wide. Option, the same option you did on the other side. Calf to the inside, foot to the inside of the calf. So foot to the inside of the calf if that's where you were on the other side. Otherwise we're going to come into that balance. So for that balance, you're just going to hug the left knee in towards the chest, using the core muscles here, and then micro bending through the right leg. Stack the foot to the outside or the top of the right thigh. Let the knee fall out toward the left. Tuck the tailbone under, lengthening the spine and open through the heart. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Taking that full breath in. And either staying there or hands to heart center, thumbs pointing back toward the heart. So then to sit down into that seat if that's where you went, taking the elbows toward the bottom leg, or the top leg really. Shoulders pressing back toward the hips. Staying with your balance here, or if you can, release your fingers to the floor. Let the head hang down and start to straighten through the standing leg as you fold over the standing leg. Softening through the shoulders. Keep pressing the shoulders up toward the hips. Nice, either staying here or finding your balance once more. So making sure you got foundations through the hands, spreading your fingers nice and wide, stacking that shin bone over the triceps, shifting the weight forward, gazing forward, and then just playing with maybe hopping that back foot up. Breathing there. Ooh, nice and challenging here. Breathe into the balance, play with it. Don't worry if you come out of it, just come back in. But when we do come out of it, we come out of it the same way that we went in. Rising on up with control. Those in tree pose, hugging the knee in, release the hip, and soften it down. Shake it all out. It's nice to get into the hips a little bit deeper. All right, a little bit more balance to keep going. From here, take your feet as wide as your hands. So what I like to do is take the arms out wide, and then depending on your arm to leg ratio, maybe if you drop your fingers down, your feet should be directly beneath your fingers. When you're there, take your hands to your hips. Start to play here with taking the heels slightly out and the toes slightly in, and then folding forward from the hips. Just feeling that balance, rocking forward through the front and the backs of the feet. Start to fold over the legs, keeping the spine nice and long. Keep the chest open. Maybe play with rolling the weight into the balls of the feet behind the toes and lifting the hips up a little higher. Maybe you're releasing your fingers to the ankles, so hands to the ankles. Just letting go. This is really nice to just play and balance. Take a full breath in. Draw the elbows wide. As you exhale, draw the chest in between the thighs. Let the head hang all the way down. One more breath. Exhale, slowly release. Take the fingers underneath the shoulders. Lengthen the spine long. You're going to take the heels in and the toes out now. Take the heels down to the floor. As you sit down into a squat, then you're going to rise on up. You're going to come into a goddess. Goddess, nice deep squat here. Turning the toes out, squeeze the outer thighs on to draw the knees wide. Now staying here, if that's where you would like to be in your balance, or start to lift the heels, maybe one at a time, up off the floor, or both up off the floor. Sit down with the hips. Nice, breathing there. My legs are totally shaking. One more breath. Exhale, release hands to hips, straighten through the legs, turn the toes in, and once more fold forward. Take the heels a little wider, and just release all the way over. Full breath in, long exhale out. Alright, so let's just have one more play with the balance, but before we go into that, we're going to get into Malasana, little squat. So Hindi squat. Taking the knees wide and sitting down into a seat. Now, if this is not open for you, then you can just stay here or sit up onto your block. So making it a bit more restorative to just kind of open through the hips. We're going to come into one more balance, and that's Bakasana, the crow pose. Now this is quite a challenging pose for some, and it's more coming from a mental place, from a mentality. It's more coming from a mentality space rather than your capability. So we're just going to have a little play sitting into your Hindi squat, opening through the hips. But then from here, we're going to take the hands to the floor, turn the toes to face forward. I'm going to come side on so you guys can see this. So toes facing forward. Hands to the floor, bend your knees nice and deep, bend your elbows, spread your fingers nice and wide, like a big high five. And then from here, start to bend your knees, and you're going to take your knees wide and stack them to the outside of the triceps. Squeeze the knees into the triceps, press the triceps out into the knees. From here, gazing down, draw the belly in. Start to shift the weight forward, either just playing with lifting one foot or the other, or taking fly and lifting both feet up off the floor. Lifting the chest up, lifting the legs up, keep pressing through the hands. One more breath. As you exhale, slowly release. Coming over onto your bottom, make fists with the wrists, rolling the wrists, and shaking them out. So this is a nice little fun balance practice to play with. So you can do this over and over again just to build up your stamina. And if it's something that interests you, then check out the rest of my videos on my channel. And thank you for watching. We all wanna be a little stronger.